What's up, guys? My name is Jellycut5 and welcome yourselves to the Chelsea versus Leicester preview. It's been a while, but it'd be much appreciated if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Chelsea take on Leicester in the 2 o'clock kickoff tomorrow as we look to be able to see if we can get ourselves back into the top four race with Manchester City losing out to Nottingham Forest in today's early kickoff. Leicester have only won once in 11 trips to Stamford Bridge as we look to be able to see if we can build on the form that we recently have built with the wins against Southampton and Copenhagen. In terms of injury news, Chelsea are still without a fair few players in fairness. Unfortunately, we will be without Noni Madueke, Nicholas Jackson, Mark Gui, but it looks to be that Romeo Lavia has returned to training and could potentially make the bench, with that also being in mind for Wesley Fofana. Cousteau did go off injured in the game against Copenhagen, but seems to be past fit and seems to be all good. And in terms of Leicester injury woes, Koulibaly has passed the fitness test being available, meaning the two absentees would only be Ricardo Pereira and Abdul Fatawat. So it seems to be they have got a few decent players coming back. They have pleaded for Mavadidi to get some more minutes in the side, and that could be in this particular fixture, as he has been handed, which has been handed a start after 6 successive matches where he's only been a substitute. I feel like the vibes are slightly better with the wins that we've previously kind of got in the two against Southampton and Copenhagen, but I don't feel like there's a massive majority of people that are still kind of looking at it thinking that we're in a good position, because we, as much as we can win this game, which will put us in a real good stead, we've got some massive games after this in Spurs. We've got to play Arsenal. We're still yet to play Liverpool and Man United, so we've got some massive games, and I feel like these sort of games are there to build confidence, but at the same time I feel like we need to put in a good performance to be able to kind of outline that. I feel like if we scrape a win against Leicester, I feel like you know what you're going to expect against Arsenal, in fairness. So hopefully we're able to kind of turn the tide and really put in a shift in here, because we really need to. Obviously been given the chance with Manchester City playing against Nottingham Forest, one of them was always going to drop points, and unfortunately for City it was them. It was a really strange game, in fairness, but Nottingham Forest look unstoppable, and it looks to be that top four place is theirs if they continue the way they have been. So realistically it could be between us and City, I'm not too sure, but we've got some massive ties ahead of us, in fairness. So hopefully we can do the job, and hopefully we can pick up points where needed, because we've had too many opportunities wasted, and unfortunately it's just not really been the season for us in terms of consistency. These are the standings at this moment in time. We've played 27 games, we've won 13, we've drawn 7, and we've also lost 7. Currently sitting in 5th place, we're a point behind Manchester City, but bearing in mind Brighton are also on the same points as ourselves, with Newcastle breathing down our necks with 2 points, and also Bournemouth 3 points there at that moment in time with Aston Villa. So yes, they could all catch up if we were to make a mistake against Leicester, but if that weren't to be the case, then we can kind of put that to the side and worry about it on the next game week. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we can get the win, and hopefully we can make ourselves in a better position and get ourselves back into that top 4. Looking at the opposition's form, obviously Ruud van Nistelrooy hasn't exactly had the best of times being a Leicester City manager. It's not exactly gone the best for them, unfortunately, and it's just been a kind of wave of where they've just kind of gone from bad to worse. As you can see in their last 6, we've only managed to win 1. Big losses as well, obviously against Everton, Arsenal, Brentford, West Ham, Man United. It's not been going their way whatsoever ever since being promoted into the Premier League, and obviously they started off with a first manager being Stevie Cooper, and that didn't really work out. They brought in Van Nistelrooy after having that interim role at Man United after the sacking of Erik ten Hag, and it just hasn't really gone his way by any means whatsoever. The football they're playing isn't exactly exhilarating. They're losing games very easily. They're conceding a lot of goals, and they just don't seem to be that they can put much together. And the worries have been there. Leicester City fans have been a massive moment with their ownership also being massive cries on that. There was moments at the time where Van Nistelrooy looked like he was actually going to kind of resign himself because of the performances that have been put in of late, and he just didn't feel like they'll be able to turn the tide. I don't feel like they'll be able to do it at the same time, but I feel like these sort of teams are always a worry because you never know what to expect. It's like today, I know Liverpool managed to get the win against Southampton, but they did actually go 1-0 up at that moment in time, and you just never know what to expect. You feel like these sort of teams have got nothing to lose, and they're at a certain point in the table where they're just not looking good. It looks to be that the 3 that have gone up are going to go down. It would be a shame because Leicester are obviously a Premier League winner and a well-established side in the Premier League for many seasons upon seasons, but it hasn't seemed to be their year this year, and unfortunately for them, it looks to be relegation. Chelsea's form against Leicester City has been pretty good in fairness, and the last five that we have played against Leicester, we've won 4 and drawn 1. It's looked pretty good in terms of the statistical side of things also, with Leicester being able to only manage 1 win in 11 visits to Stamford Bridge. So in all in favour statistically, but in the same time, stats mean nothing on the day. If we don't turn up and they do, then you know it can be a different ball game, and unfortunately for us, we could lose out. But I can't see it to a degree, but unfortunately with us this season, we are very much unpredictable. Going into my lineup prediction for this game against Leicester City, bearing in mind we have got a fair few injuries and a few players coming back and so on, but this is the team that I feel like he will field. Jorgensen in goal. He went with Sanchez against Copenhagen, but he seems to have alternated in terms of his cup keepers and his league keepers. Cucurella on the left-hand side, Reece James on the right. As much as Gusto is fit to play, I feel like James will play on the right-hand side, knowing that Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo will probably play in that fold. James did a really good job in the midfield in the week, but in the same time, I feel like it'll be a role that's kind of tried and tested in time. I don't feel like it'll be something that he'll be thrown into straight away. Colwill and Chalobah as your centre-back partnership. So obviously Badeshile is back fit also, which is nice to see. He featured against Copenhagen, but I do believe that he'll go with the pairing of Colwill and Chalobah. I've always quite liked Chalobah as a centre-back. He's had a few iffy games, but he's been pretty solid, and Levi Colwill seems to be picking up some form with that goal against Southampton. Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo in the middle. Caicedo is on his last warning in terms of a yellow card. If he were to get a yellow card, he will be missing the game against Arsenal and Spurs. It's a big risk, but at the same time we need him, and sometimes we just need to take risks, and in that position, unfortunately, they do pick up a lot of yellow cards. Enzo Fernandez partnering, he did manage to score against Copenhagen, seems to have picked up some form and showing some passion, which we like to see. A lot of doubts and questions about his form as of late, and one for I have been saying the same thing, but at the same time, hopefully he'll be able to pick up the pace. Jadon Sancho, Pedro Neto and Cole Palmer in that attacking sort of role, I feel like that'll be the best suited of options, and in Cuckoo as a lone striker. Strong side in fairness, but let's hope they can do the job. I'm going for a Chelsea 3, Leicester City 0. Hopefully we're able to kind of whitewash Leicester in fairness and being able to show that we should be able to compete at the highest sort of levels. Top 4 is the aim, that's for sure, and we've got some big games ahead, so if we can be able to kind of pick up the goal difference and get a solid 3 points against Leicester City, then hopefully everything else will come with it. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a good result, and hopefully we'll put in a good performance, but until tomorrow we will find out. But that is it for this particular preview. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe for more content, and also don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.